It may sound strange, but a simple children's toy has become the latest flashpoint in the fragile ceasefire in Gaza. The United States-led Peace Council has issued a warning to Hamas over the launching of kites from Gaza, while Israeli officials have threatened a stronger response if the launches continue. But why are Israeli authorities taking kites so seriously? And how did something associated with children become a potential security issue? Here's what we know. In recent days, several kites have reportedly been spotted crossing from Gaza toward areas in southern Israel. Israeli officials have linked the launches to Hamas and have raised concerns that they could be testing Israel's response under the current ceasefire. But there is an important detail. Reports indicate that the kites recently found in the area were not carrying explosives or incendiary materials. Hamas has also denied responsibility for the launches. A Hamas spokesman said the kites are primarily children's toys being flown by children living in displacement camps across Gaza. So why the alarm? The answer goes back to 2018. During the Great March of Return protests along the Gaza border, Palestinians used kites and balloons carrying incendiary devices. Some of those devices crossed into southern Israel and caused fires in agricultural areas. That history has made the sight of kites coming from Gaza extremely sensitive for Israeli authorities. And this time, Israel has issued a serious warning. Israeli officials have threatened to take military action if what they describe as provocative airborne activity continues. That includes concerns involving kites, balloons, and potentially other airborne objects. But the situation quickly became bigger than just an Israeli-Gaza dispute. The U.S.-led Peace Council stepped in and warned that all armed activity in Gaza must stop, including the launching of kites. At the same time, the Council also called on Israel to respect the ceasefire and said military action should only be taken in response to genuine and imminent threats. That means both sides are now being told to avoid actions that could trigger another escalation. And then came another striking reaction. United Nations officials criticized the idea of punishing or expelling people because children are flying kites. UN Human Rights Office spokesperson Ravina Shamdasani described the idea as outrageous. Meanwhile, Hamas officials continue to insist that these are simply children's kites. One Hamas official said children are flying them because they are looking for a sense of normal childhood after years of destruction and war. But Israel sees the situation differently. For Israeli authorities, the concern is not necessarily the kite, it is what could potentially be attached to it. And because similar methods were used in the past to start fires, even an apparently harmless kite can now trigger a security response. That is what makes this story so unusual. A children's toy has become part of a much bigger political and military confrontation. A kite crosses the border. Security officials respond. Political leaders issue warnings. The Peace Council gets involved. And suddenly, the fragile Gaza ceasefire is under another test. At this point, there is no confirmed evidence that the recent kites were carrying explosives or incendiary devices. There is also no independently verified evidence that Hamas ordered children to launch them. But the reaction shows just how fragile the current situation remains. After years of conflict, even something as simple as a kite can become a potential trigger for a much larger crisis. So, are these really just children's toys? Or are they becoming another test of whether the Gaza ceasefire can survive? One thing is certain. The kites may be small, but the political reaction to them is anything but. What do you think? Are these simply children's kites? Or should Israel treat them as a potential security threat?